of relationships don't fail because of lack of money or you're not beautiful. A lot of relationships fail because of something more deeper, because of something that is not so obvious, something that is very subtle, something that is very psychological. And probably you are in your, as a lady, you are in your late 30s or mid 30s, and society is mounting pressure on you to get married, your family is mounting pressure on you to get married, and it seems like you're already cursed. Like you are wondering if there's something more to this that meet the eyes, like something spiritual. Or probably you're the first child of your family as a son, and you have not been able to secure a relationship. Even though I know that it is said that a man's prime begins at 30, but over the past few years, you have not even been able to secure a relationship beyond 1 month, and you are disturbed, you are confused, you are wondering what could the problem be. I'm here to actually tell you why these problems are existing, and that's why this title of this video is "Why Relationships Fail." Now, there are a lot of reasons relationships fail, among of which are lack of self-awareness, poor communication, emotional dependence, unrealistic expectation, low emotional intelligence, loss of individuality, poor conflict resolution, and choosing attraction over compatibility. But in this video, we'll be narrowing this video down to the two major most important reasons relationships fail, which are lack of self-awareness and poor communication in the relationship. My name is Astod, and this is Astod Psyche, a channel where we talk about human and relationship psychology, trying to make you a better person and get a better partner for you. Now, without much ado, let's dive into this video. Now, the first point we'll be talking about is lack of self-awareness. Now, as the name implies, lack of self-awareness is you not understanding yourself, like not having a full grasp of what you are made up of emotionally, not knowing the things that you react to, your emotional triggers, what are your fears, what are your attachment styles, what are your insecurities, and what are your expectations. Like you don't know any of these things about yourself. Now, not having knowledge about these things will make you sabotage your relationship unconsciously. Like you destroy a relationship even without you knowing. So all your reactions will be unconscious because if you have an understanding of what your emotional triggers are, of what your fears are, of what your attachment style is, of what your expectations are, and of what your insecurities are, you will be controlled, like you act with precision. But because of you lack understanding of these things about yourself, a lot of the times you tend to react instead of act. Now, these things might sound cumbersome, like you might not really understand it in real life. Like, okay, how does a person that is not self-aware act? And I'm going to break down that in some seconds. Now, a very typical example of how a person that is not self-aware acts is that they assume that their partner is losing interest when they are just being busy. For example, you send a text message or you send a chat to your partner, and probably based on the fact that your partner is busy, they might not be able to like reply immediately. So as a result of this, you are already thinking of a lot of things, a lot of different, like is it planning on breaking up? Is he chatting someone else, or is she chatting someone else? Or does she, did I offend her? Like so you are already all over your head. You're already thinking a lot of things, assuming a lot of things in your head. And also for people that are not self-aware, they tend to be very clingy because they fear abandonment, they fear their partner leaving them. So they usually want to be clingy, they usually want to call you a lot of times a day, they want you to check up on them a lot of times a day as well. They want you to text, chat a lot, like almost every minute of the day. Those are one of the ways people that are not self-aware usually act. And also they pull away when things tend to be serious, like they fear closeness. When you are getting close or when the relationship is getting serious, they are the one that will say things like, yeah, we are moving too fast, can we take a break? So these are people that are not self-aware. These are examples, these are ways people that are not self-aware usually act. And also, people that are not self-aware tend to overreact. They overreact to small issues, like issues that shouldn't even mean anything, that shouldn't be taken seriously. They react. Now, when people that are not self-aware are in a relationship and they present these behaviors, their partners tend to see them as being needy, like that they are very needy and they are very cold. They tend to present this coldness at some point, hotness at some point, coldness at some point. You know, when you chat somebody a particular day and they are all excited and they reply so fast, instant, and that time they are very cold and like very, very distant, you know. And also the partners tend to see them as inconsistent, you know, because today you are not stable, today you are stable, like you're not really giving me that vibe. You understand? So the partners tend to see them as inconsistent people, and also they tend to see them as emotionally unstable, emotional instability. Yes, because they are not really stable. Like they are happy and they are sad. Like you cannot really tell. And all this is what really makes relationship to break down at the end of the day. Like these are what sabotages relationship, because when you are with somebody that you cannot really tell, they are just not stable. They are not emotionally stable. They are inconsistent. Like they are cold one day, they are hot one day. You as a person, you won't be comfortable in such a relationship. Now, there's some psychological backing as to people that are self-aware. There's some psychological research as to as pertaining to people that are self-aware. Now, according to a man called John Bowlby said that some certain relationships that exist in childhood tend to affect people in adulthood, and I will explain now. Now, this is what we call the attachment theory. John Bowlby said that from age 0 to about age 2, that the amount of attention given to children when they need those attentions determine how they will perceive love in their adult stage or their adult life. So for example, we have about two major attachment styles. We have the secure attachment style and we have the insecure attachment style. Now the insecure attachment style is divided into three. We have the avoidant, we have the anxious, and we have the disorganized. The avoidant people are those that fear closeness. There are people that when the relationship is getting serious, they really want to step back a bit. They'll say we are moving too fast, we are moving too fast. While the anxious people are, they tend to like you like they want you to be, they fear abandonment. They want you to be always dotting their i's and crossing their t's, always complimenting them, always say you are the sugar in my tea, you are the cockroach in my cupboard, you are the all in all. Like they want those compliments, they want those validation, they want you to be over them. Those kind of people, when you hug a girl or you hug a guy, oh god, they are mad. They are crazy. Those kind of people, they are anxious. They have anxious attachment. The avoidant kind of people are, like I already said, they fear closeness. When a relationship is beginning to get serious, they give distance. They say, okay, can we take this slowly, or I'm not comfortable with this and all of that. Why the disorganized attachment style is people that are hot and cold. Today they are very close, and another day they are distant. And you know, people who lack self-awareness operate from these patterns without realizing them, which leads to a lot of nasty, nasty behaviors such as overthinking, emotional reactions, misinterpretation, insecurity-driven behaviors. Now, people that are not emotionally aware, that are not self-aware, they tend to overthink a lot of things. Like every little thing, like they see beyond what you have done, like they think beyond what you have done. And a lot of times this happens due to some certain patterns in their past relationship. Probably some things that happen in the past relationship are still in their head, and they feel okay, this person is going to do what my ex did. This person is going to understand. So when you're not really replying as you should, they start thinking you're already chatting with someone, another girl or another guy, and you know, they start calling, over texting, trying to apologize, like, and you are like, what is going on? You, the partner, you are like, what is really going on? Like, you see them as being needy. That's what I explained earlier. So, if you yourself, you want to give them distance, like, you feel they are crazy, like, you feel they are not normal. These are how people that are not self-aware are, and they are very insecure. Even things that are like jokes, like, you know, if you just make a little joke, they don't see it as joke, they take it serious. they're always they're always very stressful. Like God, if you do not do something or if you did something, you are in for it. Like you are in for a very crazy roller coaster of madness. So This is a very, very major reason why relationships are really failing. Like seriously. Why this is very important is that because even with their beauty, with the good intention, with good compatibility, probably you have some shared values and all. These people still sabotage the relationship as a result of this lack of self-awareness. Because they can be very beautiful, like I said, the guy can be very intentional if it is the guy that is not self-aware. And you guys can have some level of compatibility, some shared values and some shared principles. But if you are not self-aware, you will sabotage the relationship unconsciously without you knowing. That is why I said from the very beginning that you might be feeling that you are cursed. You might be feeling that your village people are actually doing you or they are pursuing you. But you know that some certain subtle things are affecting your relationship that you are not aware of at all. Now, the second point that sabotage relationships, like I earlier stated, is poor communication. Now, when people care about each other, poor communication can destroy the relationship because it has to do with clear and concise communication of your feeling. You don't expect the other person to just be your mind reader, like just know what is wrong with you automatically. Like you putting things in your mind and you expecting the person to just assume, or you are expecting the person to just know. Can't you know? Can't did you not see my face? Did you not see how I was doing the other time? Like what? Okay, so what stopped you from communicating? What stopped you from explaining what is wrong with you? Like such kind of people that have very poor communication in relationship get their partners very, very confused because their partners don't even really know what is really wrong with them at the end of the day. Like seriously, because you see them happy at one point, you see them sad. Okay, you are now sad. What's the problem? It might not be something very little. Maybe you even just hug somebody and then their whole mood changes, and they cannot even still tell you and open up. Okay, this is the reason. Um, that I don't like this or don't do this. No, most couples or most people in relationship actually don't communicate. A lot of times, yes, they don't communicate. What they mostly do is they assume, they accuse, they shut down, and they avoid very difficult conversations. Like what they are supposed to communicate and say, they don't. Instead of saying I feel ignored, they will say you don't care about me. That is very manipulative as well. Okay, like okay, babe, you have not been like, giving me attention lately, and I don't really know why. Probably it's your work schedule, or you understand. Like even communication, just say it. No, they won't do such. What they will say is you don't care about me. I like as if you don't really care about them at all. If that is like so, they are also gaslighters. They are manipulative people. Like seriously, they are also very good at guilt tripping people. Those kind of people that don't communicate well because their statements make you doubt yourself, like gaslighting, like make you like does this person even know what they are saying? How would you say I don't care about you? You know, to say I feel ignored for some particular like for some days now, like I don't feel you are giving me enough attention. Like that's open communication. But instead of just making a clear communication, they like to argue, they like to blame, they like to give this emotional distance, and over time, emotional safety will disappear in that relationship. That's just the truth. Emotional safety will disappear. Now, what this look like in real life? Let me just give you some real life listen. Now, silent treatment after a disagreement, like when there is a disagreement or when your partner offends you, you don't need to communicate it openly. You keep quiet. You give them silent treatment. You bring up past mistakes, like issues that you guys have discussed in the past. You bring it up again as a reason. Now, interrupting instead of listening. So instead of listening to your partner, you be interrupting. You not allow them to talk. You don't want to listen to them. You are using insults during argument. You tend to insult them. These are examples of ways that people that don't communicate well behave in relationship. They're always insulting. They're always bringing up past relationships. They avoid serious conversation, like I earlier stated. This behavior slowly damage trust, and like it's damage trust beyond what you can ever think of. Now, research by John Gottman identified that four communication patterns that predict breakup is about 90%. Yes, like poor communication destroys relationship to about 90% of the time accuracy. And he made mention of the four major things that poor communication does that are 90% accurate. that destroy relationship to a large extent. He spoke about criticism. He spoke about defensiveness. Now, when people don't want to accept responsibility, they are always trying to. They will call it emotional defensiveness. They're always trying to to protect their ego. They don't want to be guilty. They don't want to be found guilty. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be the one doing the wrong thing. They don't, even though they are the one doing the wrong thing, they don't want to see themselves as being wrong. They are always defensive, always criticizing, criticizing, blaming, pushing blame. There's contempt. Another word for contempt is like disrespect, using a sarcasm to disrespect somebody, like indirectly abusing somebody. And there's stonewalling, like this emotional shutdown, like they don't show emotions anymore. So these are like the four major things that John Gottman explained or said that poor communication causes, and that these things affect relationship by 90% of accuracy. Now, he called them the four horsemen. That's what he calls them. Now, if this has in any way related to you, it is very important that you take heed of the solutions I'm about to state now. Now, there are a lot of things that, like I said earlier, might have caused all this lack of self-awareness and the poor communication. Yes, based on your past relationship and all. But there are some certain things you need to do, some solutions that have been provided here in this video that will help you. Now, just very simple. Self-awareness is just for you to retrospect, like try to study yourself, try to understand the things you do, read books, do engage in other activities like your hobby, like education. If it's like you need to improve in your career, your skill, engage in other things. Try to get your mind busy and try to also study yourself, and so that you'll be able to, at the end of the day, which leads us to our second point, communicate clearly about yourself, so that your partner will be able to understand what are the things you like, what are the things you don't like, what are the behaviors you don't tolerate. So once you're able to do this, your relationship will last longer. Now, if content like this interests you, core psychological content like this, not games, not mind games, not playing of games, if it interests you, I would like you to hit on the like button, share and subscribe for you to get updated or to be notified when we release our new or recent upcoming videos. My name is Astod, and this is Astod Psyche. Till we meet again, have a wonderful day. Thank you.